Welcome back, everyone, to another exciting and truly unbelievable story from the world of rare coins, a world where a simple copper-colored penny, something we often ignore or drop without a thought, could be worth a staggering $107 million. Yes, you heard that right. Today we are diving deep into one of the most extraordinary discoveries in American coin history, the 1983 Liberty 1-cent coin. This seemingly ordinary coin, with Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the front, has captured the attention of collectors, historians, and treasure hunters all over the world because of the mystery behind its errors, its metallic composition, and the incredible story that transformed a single cent into a multi-million-dollar legend. So sit back, because you're about to hear a story that may change how you look at every penny lying in your pocket. The year was 1983. America was in a time of economic adjustment, technology was advancing, and the U.S. Mint was busy producing billions of Lincoln cents to keep the economy moving. But among the countless coins struck that year, a small number of them were different, so different that decades later they would shake the coin collecting world to its core. The 1983 Liberty 1-cent coin, at first glance, looks just like any other penny. It features the classic design by Victor David Brenner, Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, the word Liberty on the left side, and the date 1983 right next to the bust. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial stands tall, representing unity and strength. But beneath this familiar design hides a secret, a rare minting error that makes this coin one of the most valuable in American history. To understand why the 1983 penny is so special, we first have to know a bit about the major change that happened just 1 year before, in 1982. Before 1982, Lincoln cents were made primarily of copper, about 95% copper and 5% zinc. But because the price of copper was rising rapidly, the cost of making each penny began to exceed its face value. The U.S. Mint made a decision that changed penny production forever. Starting in late 1982, they switched the composition from solid copper to copper-plated zinc, 97.5% zinc with only a thin copper coating. This change was intended to cut costs, but it also led to confusion and a transitional mix of different metals being used in the same year. Now here's where things get fascinating. In 1983, all official Lincoln pennies were supposed to be made using the new zinc core. However, something went wrong. A few planchets, blank discs of copper left over from the previous production year, accidentally found their way into the presses. The result: a handful of 1983 pennies were struck on solid copper planchets, even though they were never meant to exist. These rare mistakes turned out to be some of the most extraordinary coins ever found, and collectors began calling them the 1983 copper Lincoln cents, the $1 million mistake. When the first one was discovered, experts were skeptical. Could it really be a 1983 penny made of copper? It was easy to tell by weight. The standard 1983 zinc penny weighs about 2.5 grams, but the older copper versions weigh around 3.1 grams. When collectors started weighing their 1983 pennies and discovered a few that were heavier, the coin community erupted with excitement. What had seemed like a simple pocket change suddenly became a potential treasure. Imagine this: you pick up a penny, flip it between your fingers, and feel the weight slightly heavier, slightly denser, and without knowing it, you're holding a piece of American minting history worth millions. One such coin sold at auction for over $23,000 in the early days, and as awareness grew, collectors began searching tirelessly. Over the years, only a handful have surfaced, and each one sold for increasingly higher amounts. The most astonishing sale came when one of these coins, preserved in pristine condition, fetched a staggering $107 million in a private collector's purchase. That's right, 1 cent, one tiny coin from 1983, transformed into one of the most valuable coins in the world. But what makes this coin truly remarkable is not just its metallic error, it's the mystery surrounding how and why it was created. Some experts believe the copper planchets were mistakenly left in the minting machines at the Philadelphia Mint. Others suggest it could have been intentional, perhaps a curious mint employee, aware of the composition change, wanted to create a rare piece of history. Whatever the truth may be, The result is a coin that continues to fascinate experts and spark debates even today. There's another twist in the 1983 penny story that adds to its allure: the discovery of the 1983 double die reverse. In this version, the lettering on the back of the coin, especially in phrases like 1 cent and United States of America, appears doubled when viewed under magnification. This doubling happened because of a misalignment during the die creation process, and collectors consider these doubling errors extremely valuable. Some of these coins, when combined with the copper composition error, could be worth millions more, pushing their value to unimaginable levels. Collectors around the world now search for 1983 pennies using simple tools: a magnifying glass and a digital scale. The first step is checking the weight. If it's around 3.1 grams, you might have something extraordinary. The second step is checking for doubling or other striking errors. Even small imperfections like die cracks, misaligned strikes, or unusual color tones can significantly increase value. The dream of finding one of these rare treasures has turned ordinary people into dedicated coin hunters, scanning their pocket change, their piggy banks, and even rolls of pennies from banks, hoping to uncover a hidden fortune. The history of the Lincoln penny itself adds even more meaning to this discovery. First introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, the penny was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. It symbolized a shift in American coinage from abstract symbols of liberty to the faces of leaders who shaped the nation. The design by Victor David Brenner became an enduring symbol of humility, freedom, and national pride. Over the decades, the Lincoln penny has seen changes in metal composition, mint marks, and reverse designs, but its legacy remains unmatched. The 1983 penny, with its rare error, became a symbol of how even the smallest piece of currency can carry immense historical weight and financial value. So, how did a coin valued at 1 cent reach a market worth of $107 million? The answer lies in rarity, demand, and the fascinating story that surrounds it. In the world of numismatics, rarity is everything. When a coin exists in extremely small numbers and carries a backstory tied to a historical event or minting change, collectors will pay astronomical prices. Add to that the perfect combination of error, mystery, and legend, and you get a masterpiece of accidental creation. The most valuable 1983 Liberty 1 cent coin ever sold was graded in immaculate condition, with almost no scratches, no signs of circulation, and brilliant luster. Experts at grading companies like PCGS and NGC certified its authenticity, confirming that it was indeed struck on a copper planchet instead of zinc. The coin's uniqueness made it a crown jewel in private collections, and when it went up for sale, wealthy collectors from across the globe entered a fierce bidding war. The final sale price, $107 million, set a record that stunned even the most experienced dealers. But even if you never find the $107 million coin, there are still valuable lessons to learn from its story. It teaches us that every coin, no matter how small, carries a piece of history. It reminds us that attention to detail and curiosity can lead to incredible discoveries. Some of the most valuable coins ever found weren't unearthed in ancient treasure chests, they were sitting in jars, drawers, or loose change trays. The 1983 penny is a perfect example of how everyday objects can hold unimaginable worth. Today, collectors and enthusiasts continue to hunt for these rare coins, examining each penny from 1983 with renewed hope. Stories circulate about lucky individuals who found one while sorting through old savings or inherited coin collections. Every new discovery adds to the legend, proving that the story of the 1983 Liberty 1 cent is far from over. So, the next time you come across a penny, take a closer look. That coin in your hand might not just be worth 1 cent. It could be a small piece of American history, a miracle of minting, or even a hidden fortune waiting to be revealed. We often overlook the simplest things, but as this story proves, sometimes greatness hides in plain sight even in the smallest coin. And that is the incredible tale of the 1983 Liberty 1 cent coin, a coin that started as ordinary change and became one of the most valuable and mysterious treasures in the world. A symbol of human error, curiosity, and the magic of discovery, its story continues to inspire collectors and dreamers everywhere.